Take your time.
There we go.
Ah, okay, I should start. Okay. So today we're going to reference a podcast that was on Hidden Brain called Keeping Secrets. But before we do that, we're going to sort of set the stage for that, why we chose this topic. So, for someone who's new to reflective meditation, and we've heard this um, many times, they might wonder why are you talking about your meditation? Um, Too much information. I just came here to meditate. I just want to get beyond my self-concerns, my self-interests, and much of that is in my thinking. And so I don't really want to think about my thinking or talk about my thinking. I want to just get calmer,
And quieter.
quieter.
You know,
Yes.
because we've built this into the practice, right? That after we meditate, after we reflect, then people have a chance to talk, to share about their meditation practice, the content and process. And we were thinking about this. The title of the podcast is "Keeping Secrets: The Power of Self-Disclosure." So we're going to look at some of the research on the power of self-disclosure and see how it seems relevant to reflective meditation practice. And the source that we're using, as Nelly said, it's Hidden Brain. Shankar Vedantam interviews Leslie John, who's a Harvard University psychologist studying the costs and benefits of not only self disclosure but self concealment.
So, and this is a quote from that podcast. In the course of a day, countless thoughts and feelings enter our minds. We share some of these thoughts and feelings with others, but we keep most of them to ourselves.
And we felt that applied to meditation because we are inviting people to bring their thoughts and feelings into the meditation sitting, not just to observe them from a distance, but actually to engage with them, that they're important. They're the way you know what matters to you. And that when you talk about your meditation sitting, you're not talking about all of it. There's countless of thoughts and feelings that have come into your meditation sitting.
And not only are you not talking out all of them, when we, in this group, the last 10 minutes of sharing in other groups, it's structured a little differently. Um, but we can't even tell them to ourselves. There's
Right,
so much, right?
right.
We can't remember them, we can't track them, whatever. But back to the last 10 minutes in this group, most of what goes on, we keep to ourselves, even when we step up and decide we're going to speak about our sitting. Because, and there's important discernments in this, like that maybe happen semi intentionally. We have to make a decision quickly.
Right. And what we're bringing forward is different than the kind of talk we would use in a social situation or over dinner with our family. So we're kind of learning a different way to talk about our experience here. And what do you bring forward and how do you talk about it? Could be confusing at times. And it's something that we learn kind of together because we're asking people to be as vulnerable as they are comfortable with. There's no standard, so to speak.
Right. Or maybe it's not always comfortable, but to be as vulnerable as they judge would be the best thing to do, or
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
maybe the best guess.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I don't think this is always comfortable. Um,
Right. Right.
so,
That's a good
but
point.
getting back to this podcast, so the question in the conversation, when is it smart to share and when is it smart to hide? Good, really big questions. Is there scientific evidence that can guide us on what we should do? And so again, this Harvard University psychologist, name again of Leslie John, has spent many years studying these questions. When is it smart to share and when is it smart to hide?
which I'm kind of making a, after listening to it, but making it the association of smart being wise, right, appropriate. And the Pali word is samma, Samma, that we're really trying to discern what, what and when, and who is it with, for what function. I mean, there is a kind of um, even ethical purpose for our speech that we want it to actually land well for ourselves and for others, and to be right in that sense.
So it's interesting that they use the word hide. When is it smart to hide? Because, hiding can have a connotation, that it's you're being sneaky or something is wrong. You're hiding something that's wrong. Um, but when we hide something that we've really thought through and we don't want to share because of the consequences might hurt someone else, then hiding is ethical. Hiding is a smart choice. But hiding is not always that. Hiding can also be about keeping something in the shadows because we're afraid of our thoughts, afraid of our feelings, afraid of others' thoughts and feelings about our thoughts and feelings.
I'm going to jump to another section of a quote from that, Nelly. And this is where she brings in some acronyms. TMI, meaning too much information. She brings in a new acronym, TLI, too little information. So she says, TMI, that's oversharing. And it's true. Of course, we can share too much at the wrong time with the wrong people, and that can bite us in all these ways. But what I've found in our research is that we don't pay attention. We don't pay enough attention to the other side of the coin. And that's what I call TLI, too little information. And there can be, and there are very real harms to not opening up, to staying silent. And so I'm hoping we can start adjudicating these decisions of whether to share or not in a more balanced, even handed way, where we consider both TMI and TLI.
So after listening to that, thinking about that, I started to wonder, are there harms to not opening up, to staying silent about your meditation? Now, I wouldn't say harm. I don't think that's quite the right word, but I came up with there's missed opportunities. And there's missed opportunities for yourself and for others in the group. And I don't think I have this fully thought out, but some of the missed opportunities for oneself or yourself, myself, is not like, the purpose of the conversation is about increasing awareness, showing how the Dharma is showing up for you. So there's really a missed opportunity and expanding your views on what happened. Oh, I could go on and on, couldn't I? But there's missed opportunities for that. Um, um, and also, I think there's really missed opportunities for the group to learn from your experience because that's how a lot of the learning happens. It's not top-down teacher to student, although some of that is there, but it's a lot learning from one another. And so that's a missed opportunity. At the same time, we really do respect that you'll share if and when is best for you, and you will stay silent if and when that is what you need to do.
So, in a sense, we're really asking people to make this a part of their practice, besides just meditating, is a practice of when you're going to disclose something about yourself, why, how you do it. And in, the kind of the larger Dharma world, the direction has been to say less, to keep it, kind of really on the Dharma only. And this idea that you would talk about your life could really seem confusing to people. And where is the Dharma in some of this everyday language? And we're asking people to discern where the Dharma is in their everyday experience and language.
And we talk to you about that in the conversation. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I think it's time to sit and meditate. You could lie and meditate, so I said that poorly. Um, and I think it's time for me to ring the bell. This time it's my turn.
Yeah.
So I can't tell if there's anyone new or not today, but so I'll just say that we will meditate silently for 30 minutes. You'll just see what happens. You're free to practice any practice you might have, or just let your mind wander a bit and see that might lead to some interesting and useful places.